All right, so I posted a video the other day. It was a Golf Clash practice reaction video, how to make the game better or fun again. I was doing this in response to a video that Dale Appleby posted, which was in response to a video that somebody else posted where they're asking the community questions. So I wanted to, I had some more stuff. I went and watched the video myself, and then when I got done, I was like, oh shit, there was a bunch of stuff I didn't talk about. I actually shot a 4-hour video talking about it, and I talked about several different subjects over the whole 4 hours, but it's so raw that I went through it and listened to it, and then was just trying to make a video hitting the high points, but like responding to some of the questions. So my biggest gripe about this game is that it takes too long to max out your clubs. So let's take this in order. It takes too long to max out your clubs. Hey man, I totally agree. I mean, I started playing the game, but okay, first of all, let's go through the process. How do we get clubs? We get clubs because we're farmers. And so we come in here, and every time we open up a chest, we get some club cards. And obviously, if you're playing golf, and I have several friends that can attest to this, if you're playing up here, when you win a chest, you win a chest. So like today I bought a $20 pack and I got a Tour 11 chest, and in that chest there were 7 Apocalypse cards, which is exactly what I needed to upgrade my Apocalypse to level 7 or level 6. And in the club card trading, I would have had to catch it 3 more times, and I hardly ever see it in anything other than the club card trading. So I mean, I would have had to do 3 more times, and that's like another month of getting the card. I mean, it obviously is harder to get, like, and I think I'm not so sure that like they don't set, because there are some of these epics like a Spitfire that I've gotten a lot of cards for it. Like, it's level 6 here. It's a high level 6 in my 77 account, and I don't, I mean, I just have gotten lucky getting Spitfire cards, but like everybody else, I hardly ever get Apocalypse and Cataclysm. I think I get them less because it took me 2.5 years of playing Tour 7 every day, probably enough to win 4 gold chests every day on top of all the rest of the stuff I played before I even got an Apocalypse. I mean, I went the first 2.5 years of the game and didn't even have an Apocalypse. So, and right about that time is when the club card trading came out, and if it wasn't for the club card trading, I'd still have like an Apocalypse 3 or 4. I hardly ever get cards for it, ever. And I don't have high enough trophy count to get them in the store. And so I really do agree that like how long it takes to max out your clubs. But if you play up high, you're gonna if you play up at the higher tours, you're gonna max it out, opening up a lot of chests, never playing without an empty slot. This all goes back to the next video I'm going to shoot, which is money, because like if you watch me play, I very seldom, I mean, it has probably happened on video, but very seldom do I ever play where I have 4 chests and I'm playing where I have the opportunity to win a chest. And I think that we should never have any kind of play. This goes back to some of the other ones on here as far as like practicing by yourself. Right now, if you practice with somebody and you win, you don't get a chest. You should always get a chest. I paid to practice. My opponent paid to practice. We should be able to win something. Every single time we go out on the course, we should have the opportunity to win something. That helps us out, but you can get your clubs, especially your rares, maxed out. The epics do take a while, but it's the gas between 7 and 8, because shit, you need more for 7, going from 7 to 8 than you've gotten all the way to get to level 7. So to get them maxed out, it does take a bit. And so if you're playing, most of the people that are playing up there in Masters and they're playing high up, they're getting their clubs maxed out really quick. But that means that the game is like this. Like if you start playing this game and you want higher developed clubs, then you have to play higher tours. And and the elephant in the room that nobody talks about is that the higher you play and the better equipment you have, the better balls you have to have out on the course in order to give yourself the opportunity, even in tour play. You don't have to bring out a lot of these special balls, but you're going to find a lot of those holes that a Titan would be very helpful. And so in order to have Titans, you need to have gems, or you need to do something where you're getting those balls. So you're going to be spending money in the game the higher you go up. So it's not really that you're buying your clubs. But if you want clubs faster, you're going to have to pay for them. Or you can do like what I've done with my 77 account. I mean, I know a lot of people bitch about the level of clubs that I play in that account, but I've been playing since the beginning of the game. I'm right here, and those are the clubs I got, and I don't spend a lot of money on the game, and I've never played that account above Tour 7. So all of those clubs I have ground out and got just by playing and opening up chests and never playing without an empty slot. But we should be able to upgrade our clubs a little bit faster. It would have a little bit more excitement in the game if you could, you know, there's other stuff that they can come out with once you get maxed out clubs. Like everybody that has maxed out clubs right now, and they're getting balls. So instead of getting clubs, they're getting opportunity to get balls every day. But there are things that they don't have in the game. Shafts. I mean, there's stuff that we could do with shafts, because in the real world, having, you know, if you buy club heads, then getting what shaft are you going to use, and grips. What about gloves? Maybe getting a pair of gloves is something we have to work for, and we have a pair of gloves, because one pair of gloves to another pair of gloves is not really that big of a difference, but having a pair of gloves that are out there, that could make a difference. That could promote people to do something. And it should all be, the way it is right now, is it's all designed to promote tournaments. It's a constant fucking thing of tournaments, and they coming out with the check play challenge, so we're playing, you know, for me, this is what we should be promoting as tours. We should be promoting people to come and play in tours, and we should be giving them some incentive to go up. I talked about practice the other day, and what I'd like to see is that, like in this particular week, because the courses are in play, you're on Tour 3, you can get Nahanni Cliffs. If you come up to Tour 6, you can get the Yongsan Gardens, and then Tour 8's got Yongsan Gardens, and then Tour 10's got Yongsan Gardens, and then Tour 12's got Yongsan Gardens. So those people who are in Tour 10 and playing Masters, they're going to have to practice from the second tee instead of practicing from the third tee, because maybe they're not playing Tour 12. They're working their way up there. It gives them an incentive to work their way up so that they can play those holes because most of the tournament holes end up in Tour 12. So if you're coming up this far and you want to play a Masters, you really got to get up to the point where you can play in Tour 12 so that you can get practice holes to practice during the week. Same thing with 10, 8, promoting people to want to go up from Tour 7 to go to Tour 8 and get up there. If they want to play in Pro and they want to practice from the Pro tees, you know, they're going to get some of the holes in Tour 8, maybe they're going to get some of them in Tour 10, or they're going to get all of them in Tour 8 and all of them in Tour 10. Those tours are going to be super active during the week. So if you're playing normally at Tour 9 and 10 and you got a weak bankroll, you understand if you play Tour 10 this week, you got a bunch of people that are up here playing normally that are down here playing because they play in the expert tournament, and they're going to be stout. They're going to bring out the right shit. You got to be prepared for that. So you might want to hang out in Tour 9 this week. Not a lot of people are going to be playing there. Just your local people, the people that normally play in this area, are going to be playing Tour 9. Everybody else is going to be playing Tour 10. Same thing with Tour 8. Same thing with Tour 6. Same thing with Tour 3. So like that gives everybody, promotes people to want to move up. And when you move up, you get more club cards. And it promotes people to come out and play and do their practicing out on the field. I'm not sure that I caught this on the video I did the other day, but the one thing I will say is this, and somebody asked about it, said something in here, and I'll read theirs off. So it's crazy to be playing this game for over 3 years and do not have maxed out epics. Yeah, I mean, if you play all the time, but it depends on what level you play. I mean, getting them to level 8 versus getting them to level 7, a lot of them, if you get them to level 7, they're not quite as good as level 8, but they're pretty damn close. And it takes forever. You're right. But maybe it should be that way. But it would be nice to help the newer people, you know. You got to look at it this way. If here's our block of players and we have our whales up here at the top, and they make up the top, you know, the big spenders are the top 1 or 2%, 5%. Then but the top 10 is where most of our money's made, is right here. So when we do changes, we're making it for them, because I'm not sure if this 90 combined adds up to what that 10's spending. So any change that's here is going to greatly enhance their stuff, and it may help us, but it only moves the bar up so that we're here now. We're like, hell yeah, I got all that shit, but they're here now. They moved up the scale as well. And they can get there instantly because they have such a buildup of resources. Unless they come out with a new resource, like we have gems, we have coins, we have club cards. If they came out with some new resource that everybody's starting on an equal playing field, those people who play more tour play are going to go up faster. So it promotes people to play tour play, and when you're playing tour play, you're using balls. Okay? And so the game right now, in my opinion, is focused on tournaments, and I would really like to see the game be focused on tour play and get us back to where people are playing all the time and excited about the game and playing those holes and doing. I know there's a lot of people that play tour play, but there's a lot of people that had pretty decent clubs that, like, there's no reason to play tour play anymore. We can get all of our stuff through the practice rounds. All right, let's read off some of them. As far as practice for tourneys, just let individuals play themselves in practices. Some players play tours in between their normal tours and during tourneys. The most advanced players will learn from their own plays. Okay, so we're back to hey Robert, there's another comment on here that's very similar to this, and this has nothing to do with yours on there, but like the way that I look at it is, I don't ever want to play this game where it's just me out on the course, and from the player's perspective that are like, hey, I want to practice more during the tourney. I want to practice during the tourney. So they want to practice the hole, and it's like, okay, I didn't get practice the hole. Okay, okay, practice the hole. Okay, that was it. Practice it again to make sure that this was it. Yep, that's it. 4 practices and then play the hole. And they're like, hey, I want to play that faster. It's bullshit that I got to wait for an opponent. All right, you're wanting the community to speed the game up so that you can practice the hole 4 times. Now, from Playdemic's perspective, this probably makes some money if they had to bring out a special ball. They had to use a resource, a practice token, which they had to get somehow or other. They had to spend gems to get some device that pops them up, or they had to do the golf class or the golf pass, or they had to do something in order to get them. So they are using up resources. So like trying to keep that in the game for like a Saturday and a Sunday, and then during the week we really want to promote tour play because people are out spending balls, and they're playing other holes, so it's a variety of. I'm not really interested in giving these people speeding the game up for them. I mean, why don't we just do this? Why don't we just pay the 10 practice tokens and the game tells you that this is what the variables are that you need to use so that you can hit a perfect on this shot. And then you bring out your precision ball, which broke the game, which made it so it's not a sport anymore. Now it is a game. And we can take the shot that we practiced 4 times. And so you want me to speed that up and just let people play by themselves. Hey, if you want to practice, then like this game is all about playing. It's about, I think originally the slogan was, and I don't have it, but like this is a fire off duel, where we're dueling people. And the thing is there was nothing that we ever did that we didn't have an opportunity to get a chest. So that was the whole deal. We're trying to get our club. I think we have a lot of ways to open up chests now with the way it is versus the old pin chest. But the pin chest did have some pretty good stuff in it, and we probably get more stuff now, but it seems like we get less cards. It seemed like we got a lot more epics back in the day, like almost every chest, like, we got a lot more epics in chests, and now it's pretty rare to get epics, and I almost always get some shitty one. It's like Boomerang, Castaway. You hardly ever get any of the ones that you're looking for, ever. So I am not a fan of letting people play by themselves. That's just the deal. Okay, as a pillar of the Golf Clash community, I fired off an email to Playdemic about a major overhaul of the game to get rid of needle jumps, lags, disconnects, and glitches. It's about time, since I've been playing since the beginning, that EA Sports take a day off and find out what's wrong with the game. I noticed to them that I don't want to discontinue playing Golf Clash. I'm hoping for a response from them, but not holding my breath. I was getting a lot of lags, and I did have to I upgraded my modem in my house, and I upgraded my device, and I don't get as much laggy issue as I had before. And we put in a booster in the house so that it boosts the wireless signal, because I play almost, it's in the center of our house, and I'm at the I'm almost at the end, like one of the corners from it. So it did help a little bit. But yesterday I was playing Kyle, and it was all glitchy. And I had it happen here just a couple tournaments ago where I disconnected, and I'm looking at, I'm literally in the house at the coast, and I'm right by the router, and I'm watching everything else, and all of the stuff is good. But I got disconnected on 2 different holes and ended up getting where I didn't make the shot. I took the shot, and it didn't show that I even took it. So yeah, there are still some glitches. I think some of the holes that they built, there are certain courses that when we get on them, they always seem like they're twitchier than other courses as well. And I can't remember the names. Great video, it's true. I learned a lot from those better players too. Yeah, I have learned a ton of stuff from better players, and just because, and it's not better players, just because somebody plays up higher doesn't necessarily mean they're a better player. Hey, if you know how to adjust for the wind, and you got to understand too, is if they come down to a tour that you're playing, you're in Tour 8, and that's where you play because you don't have the bankroll to go up to Tour 9, or you haven't gone up to Tour 9 yet, but you're right there, and you get somebody that's playing in Tour 10 or 11 on a day-to-day basis, and they come down, they may have better stuff than you because they're opening up bigger chests up here. But if they came down here, you know these holes. And even though your clubs may be different than theirs, you can beat players that have better equipment than you. I hardly ever get beat by clubs. I usually get beat because I made some bonehead error and didn't play my clubs properly. But I have learned a lot of stuff from playing better players. I'm not afraid, even when the game first came out, and we could run into players that were max trophy, or we could get players that had, I've got 300 and they've got 3,600. I was able to win a lot of those games. I obviously won a lot because I was able to work up the scale. Yes, Gordon, someone needed to say it. It's not a popular opinion, however, it is a solution. So my solution to the question of practice is get rid of practice. If everybody wants to speed practice up, I don't think we should be able to practice during the tournament. Like, the tournament started on Monday, and that's it. If you needed to get all your practice in, that's why they announced it the week before, and we had Saturday and Sunday to practice, and then the tournament starts. And when the tournament starts, if we want to play those holes and practice, we got to go out and play tour play. That's the only way to do it, because there's no way during the week, like if we're having problems on a hole, then we're going to have to go out and play Tour 8 or Tour 7 or Tour 6 or whatever tour those holes are in. And there's multiple tours that it's in because there's multiple divisions. And it promotes people to go out and play on those courses. The one thing I will say about that I'm not sure that I've gotten across is let me get this loaded back up. And where we're at this week is an exact example. I was going to talk about this earlier in the video, and I lost my train of thought. Let's go to Tour 3. So you would think that right now, on any given day, that we're like a casino, and there would be 50% of these holes would be Gokasha Bay and 50% would be Nahoma Cliffs. I mean, that's the way it worked. There's two in here, and we'd get a 50-50 chance of getting them. But during tournament week, what they would do in the past is they would change this up, and they would go, it's a 70% chance of getting Gokasha Bay, and it's a 30% chance of getting the Nahoma Cliffs, about 3 in 10. And 2 of those 10 might be on shootouts, okay? Where you only got 1 hole in 10 that you were actually looking for, and sometimes you get lucky and but it wasn't 50-50 like it was during the week. And then it would come back after the tournament and you'd get 50% and 50%. Okay, Playdemic, I know that you're not governed by the Nevada Board of Gaming, but don't be bitches about this. If the percentage is 50-50, then give it 50-50 so people can get that, because it's going to promote them to want to play more if they know they can get more holes. As opposed to, this is a stick and this is the carrot. Okay, we're going to play more if we keep getting carrots. We don't give very many carrots in this game. And you want to give us the stick, and the stick is that, yeah, you can play those holes, but we're going to make it more difficult to get them, so you'll have to play more and use up resources. If you gave us the holes, we would still play more. We would play more because we know that we got a 50% chance, and we're getting the holes, so we're promoted to play more. And I believe that as a community, we would use more resources and make you more money if you gave us just the 50-50. Same thing, and it's really, really fucking bad when it's courses that have 3 in them. So like right now we're in Tour 8, we got Yongsan Garden, so typically it would be 33, 33, 33 with 1 in there somewhere. But during tournament play, shit, you'll be lucky if you get that 20% of the time. And you're playing these 2 holes a lot. And it would be nice if you would change the percentage. Hell, I'd even say on this right here, it'd be nice if you could up it to 40%. You know people are playing down there, so give them a little bit of a shot. Promote them to play more. It's like, fuck, I'm tired of playing because I haven't seen a Yongsan Garden in an hour, as opposed to, hey, I'm getting it about 40% of the time, and it promotes me to continue to play. Let's see what the next one was. Oh, of course I turned it off. What else do we have here? My recommendation is to quit practicing. We should practice on Saturday and Sunday when the week starts. If you want to play the holes, you gotta go out there and play them. And we play the fucking tournament. You go in there and you play the holes. If you want more practice time, you have more accounts. And more accounts means that you're going to have more balls. And you all have more accounts. I would like to see opponents removed from the practice mode. That's a big one. I mean, when the video I watched with Dale, that is a big one. I think that's the biggest deal, that where people want is that they don't want to see. They want to just be able to go out there and play. And so let's have a history lesson again for all of those of you who made it to this point in the video. Let's have a history lesson again. We got to this point where the practice stuff came out because people were bitching that it was too easy during the week for people to go out there and practice. Then this is what's fun about clans, is we got a bunch of clan members that are going out there and they go, hey, I'm on this hole and I'm playing, and I played it at 20% at mid, and I just smoked the outside edge, so maybe try +1. And then somebody comes on there and says, hey, I got on that hole, hit perfect, used the Goliath and hit mid and added 0.1, and bam, it hit the flagpole and was in the hole. And then somebody else comes on there and says, yeah, I did the same thing, and that's a good shot. Those are good numbers. So we were working as a team. But people bitch that, like, if you're in a clan, you're working as a team and you're getting all this information and you can watch all these videos and you got 5 practice accounts and you're out there practicing and you're playing all the time. You're playing all the time. You're playing all the time. That's bullshit. I want to play my 2 hours a week and get on and win tournaments every week. That was the bitch at the time. So that's what got us here. And now everybody who was bitching about that is going, fuck, when that happened, minimum score was 12. Shit, nowadays minimum score is 14. I mean, you have to pick up 2. I mean, on almost every course that's out there, you got to shoot a 28 or better. And so that means that now people can practice. So like they can dial that shit in. They can go in and play that hole 10 times and then play it, and then 10 times and then play it, 25 times if that's what it takes to get the hole down. And once they get the hole down and they got notes, the next time they may only have to practice it once. All right, they got their notes down. They know. Like, I know that works because I practiced the hole 25 times. And now those same people who were in the middle before are like, man, the scores really went up and it's not, shit. Now you want to make it easy. Now you want to go to the next step and just say, fuck it. Just let them practice. Just let them go out there on the tee box and hit the ball over and over and over and over again. So Dunner and I play. And if you've ever watched Dunner and I catch a practice round where we get matched up, we really practice. Like, really practice. Like, go out there and pull out multiple different balls. Like, as a 3-power ball, what does a 5-power ball look like on this hole? Like, does it open up something that you're not normally seeing? Or, Like, what is the 3 power ball, or like, where do you need to go and change clubs out and see what different clubs will do for the thing, and just time out on the first shot, so that we can really go out there and practice. We can really test our red lines. We got it on video now, so we can test our red lines. We can see where we're at. We know we can make the game plan, and then go out there and maybe do it again. And now what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what kind of spin we need. And we're not going to worry about taking the shot. We're just going to find out the spin that we want, so that we'd make the move. And then we can stop and look at the spin and go, okay, this is what I wrote down, and this is what I got, and time out. And then go out there on the third time and go, okay, I know what I'm going to take. I know what ball I'm going to do. I know what spin I'm going to do. Now it's all about just hitting the shot. So, like, it's way downhill, so I'm going to add a little bit on just to get me started, instead of starting at 0, or it's way uphill, or it's, you know, you can adjust it like you see fit and make the shot. Well, fuck, the next practice round you should only have to do 2 or 3 practice rounds, 4 practice rounds, and you're going to have the whole dialed in, right? If you played your practices right and didn't just go out there and fucking hit the ball. I think practices should take longer, because whenever you get out to practice, we should have some special code where everybody gives the person the smiley face, or gives them the freaking, you know, some code combination of things, and says, hey, let's practice. And they go out there and they and they check for red lines, and they check it out, so that we can watch and see that, hey, a 3 power ball with topspin boost works, or a 2 power ball will work fine there. But we need 3 side spin. Or, you know, and then you get out there, and then you can go through the stuff to see, you know, maybe how much, maybe you can speed it up. You can go, hey, that is the shot. So you bring out that stuff, and then you go out there and you set up the spin to see what kind of spin you would need. Now you have where your red lines are at, what the balls can do, what kind of spin you'd need with a certain ball if you went a certain way. And then on the third time round, then you both take a shot. Okay, make your practices practice. But you know what Playdemic would do if we as a community started playing practices that way? They'd shit their pants. I'm sure that when Dunner and I post the videos of me and him getting matched up where we're in a practice round and we can really go through, we're not in a hurry. Okay? You go out there and play by yourself, you're not in a hurry anymore. You don't have to worry about the round, the twosome that's playing behind you that says, hey, fucker, you can't be sitting out there practicing all day long. Take your shot. Come on, we want to go. But if you're out there playing by yourself, shit, you can do whatever you want. There's no witnesses. There should always be a witness. But if you're going to play, if we play like that, you can make them longer. It's not necessarily going to happen later on in the week, but I don't think we should be practicing during the week. As soon as the tournament starts, practice is over. You practice for shit before the tournament. You warm up. You might try some stuff out while you're warming up. And warming up is going out there and playing some tour play and warming up and seeing if you can get that hole. Be like, hey, I want to practice hole number 7 on Nahimi Cliffs. Well, you're going to have to go to Nahimi Cliffs and pay the entry fee to play Nahimi Cliffs, and then you're going to have to play 6 holes before you get to that one. All right, that's a little bit of my back reaction to the reaction. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit like, comment on this one. We want to keep this going. We want to find out. I think that most people want to play by themselves, which is illegal in some states. Okay? Thanks for watching.